Hey everyone, Cam here, and today we're diving into the Garmin GPS 175. This is one of Garmin's entry-level IFR navigators, but don't let its small size fool you. It shares the same software architecture as the GTN series, and once you know where everything lives, it becomes a remarkably capable tool that can help you in the cockpit. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through the physical controls, the main map, basic navigation, and how to make a flight plan. Let's jump in. The GPS 175 keeps the hardware pretty simple. A home button, a touchscreen, and a single knob in the lower right-hand corner. It's probably not a surprise that the home button will always take you back to the main menu, and the touchscreen handles just about everything else. The knob is primarily used for zooming and page shortcuts, but can also aid in waypoint entry, which can be helpful during turbulence. One of the strengths of this unit is that even though it's smaller than a GTN, the menu structure and logic feel very familiar. If you've used, say, a GTN 650 or 750 in the past, this will just feel like a lightweight version, but it still has the same workflow. Okay, let's jump into the map, because this is probably where you'll spend most of your time. The GPS 175, like the GTN, has 4 customizable user fields in each corner of the map. Be sure to configure these guys exactly how you'd like. Just go to the menu and hit Customize User Fields, and you'll be able to select from a wide variety of different features. If at any time you want to hide them, just push the knob once and they'll disappear, allowing for efficient use of screen space. Next, let's talk map overlays. From the menu, you can scroll left to enable or disable certain overlays. The traffic, NEXRAD, and TFR overlays are some of my favorites, but you can mix and match them depending on your current situation. Keep in mind that these can make the map quite busy, so only enable the overlays that you need to make sure you're efficiently utilizing the limited screen space. Okay, now let's cover the basics of navigating with the GPS 175. Push the Direct To button in the top right-hand corner of the screen, enter your desired identifier, and then press Activate. You can also pull up a list of the nearest waypoints by tapping the Nearest Airport tab. Once you've activated a leg, the magenta course line appears, so you can just follow that to your destination. You'll also notice a mini CDI pop up underneath the flight plan hotkey in the lower right-hand side of the screen. This is great if you don't have a PFD and want to maintain some lateral guidance while utilizing some of the other screens that are available on the GPS 175. Next up is flight planning. Tap Home, Flight Plan, and you'll see that familiar vertical flight plan list. You can add waypoints, intersections, or VORs. Airways can be loaded as well. Just enter the appropriate intersection and press Load Airway. In the menu, you can delete, invert, or fly a parallel track, just like in the GTN series. Pressing Store will save a copy of the current flight plan in the catalog for future use. For cross-country flying, especially IFR, having a catalog of common routes is a huge boost of efficiency, so you don't have to just sit there and re-enter the same flight plans over and over again. Since many aircraft pair the GPS 175 with an ADS-B in source like a GTX transponder, the traffic page becomes another core tool. From the home page, tap Traffic. Here you'll see its surrounding traffic rendered with directional vectors and relative altitude tags. Tapping on an individual target brings up more details, like their tail number, closure rate, track, and ground speed. When you press the menu button, you'll find your traffic settings, with the most notable adjustments being the vector duration, vector type, and altitude filter. This is one of those pages where a little customization goes a long way, especially when adjusting your altitude filter, because it'll reduce clutter in busy training airspace. Now let's move on to the waypoint information screen. There are a few ways to get here. You can tap on an airport on the map, you can select it from the nearest list, or you can search it from the waypoint information page. The airport page gives you the most detail, including basic facility data, runway information, frequencies, and weather. But remember, the exact same screen works for VORs, intersections, and user waypoints. It's all one unified system, which makes it pretty easy to quickly pull up information in flight without switching between apps or cross-checking another device. Okay, since we have a little extra time, let's briefly talk about the flight planning utilities. These mirror the GTN series and add a surprising amount of capability into a compact unit. The VCalc feature allows you to plan controlled descents so you can reach your target altitude at the exact desired point. The fuel planning screen will calculate endurance, range, and fuel remaining at your destination. Lastly, the density altitude, true airspeed, and winds aloft page will calculate just that, which is super handy for if you need to give a PIRAP. These tools are easy to miss if you never browse past the main navigation pages, but they're worth incorporating into your workflow, especially if you left your iPad at home. Okay, and that's your quick mastery tour of the Garmin GPS 175. You've seen how the physical controls work, how to customize the main map, how to navigate and build flight plans, and even how to use the traffic page. If you want a deeper dive, check out my full-length GPS 175 walkthrough where we go into every single corner of this device. I'm Carr, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.